my first city trip, I was 16 years old, you know, that I actually went and got involved with stuff with that. And I actually joined the Bloods at a very young age. It's a lot of misconceptions with the Bloods and the Crips and the gang shit. I'm not gonna get into. There's a lot of political shit I'm not gonna get into with it, but the West Coast and East Coast are two different fractions. They're two different things. A lot of people think you're white. You can't join the Bloods. You can't join the Crips. You can't, whatever. If you're not black, you're not joining. Yes, on the West Coast, that's usually how it goes. But in the East Coast, things are a lot different. You know, the East Coast Bloods started up in 1990s, Rikers Island, basically because of biggest factor was the fact that the Latin Kings that were founded in Chicago had made their way to upstate New York prisons and were branching out. And people think of Crips being the biggest enemy of the Bloods, which they are in certain aspects, but the Latin Kings became a big problem in the prison systems as well. So Rikers Island started up, the East Coast Bloods, United Blood Nation, to recruit and have some protection and people to go against the Latin Kings. And they'd recruit. I mean, there's any ethnicity you can think of. I mean, on the East Coast, you see people joining everything. I had to I took a 31-second jump to get in and did a lot of, favors and a lot of work that, they put the young bucks on to do. And I didn't care. I didn't care what I was doing. I didn't care how much trouble I was going to get in because I was getting recognized for things and I fit in. Like I finally felt like I was fitting into something that was important, and I didn't know what I was getting into by any means.